The main argument of my book is that adopting pro-market reforms, and particularly painful austerity reforms, ends up being quite consequential for center-left parties in the long run, because it hurts and alienates their core constituency, working-class electorates, primarily blue-collar production workers. And indeed, this is the pattern that we see in both Western and East Central Europe, where, while at first the rebranding helped center-left parties in late 80s, early 1990s to expand their electorates to the middle-class voters, to present themselves as those more viable alternatives in the new globalized world, in the long term, it did alienate working-class constituencies and left, in many instances, to demise of center-left parties. Now, that is the story that is paralleled in both contexts. What is unique to Central and Eastern Europe is, as I show, several factors. First of all, the adoption of those pro-market reforms in early 1990s took place during the shorter period of time. In a lot of ways, these parties were learning, borrowing from the experiences of their Western European counterparts, and it was more pronounced because those countries needed much more serious pro-market reforms. That was during the market transition. Therefore, the reforms were much more painful for the electorates of these parties, and in the long term, more consequential in this process of alienating of the working class electorates. In addition, post-communist polities also just have a much larger share of working class electorates because they are, most of them are industrial economists still, as opposed to post-industrial economists of the Western Europe. And of course, in the context of post-communist Europe, fairly young, volatile democracies, the shift away from the left and to the right was much more pronounced, partly because there wasn't so much legacy of this deeply entrenched partisanship and loyalty to the parties that characterized Western European polities. As a result, as I argue, the combination of these factors help us account of a much more pronounced swing to the right in the context of post-communist Europe.